everyone. I guess I'm making a video. I didn't really plan this out, I just kind of like threw on the camera. But Paige made a video, so I'm making a video. And she said she wanted to hear about Harry Potter World, so I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so first I came down here for Dragon Con. Came down to Atlanta a week early to go to Dragon Con, which wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. It was mostly a lot of older people and in fandoms, you know, that are a bit older, and then they got drunk, and that's what Dragon Con is. So I wasn't feeling it too much. I mean, it was okay, but it really wasn't worth the money. It was very okay. So probably not gonna do that next year, but it was an experience, so I'm glad I went. But then next weekend I went to Harry Potter World. I mean, like, I went to Florida, but you know, it was the first thing we did. Basically, we got there and then we woke up and I was really excited. And I kept saying like, we're gonna go see Harry Potter! And everyone's like, yeah? And I'm like, ah! Like, I was freaking out. Like, which is weird because, like, Alda loves Harry Potter. Like, Mom loves Harry Potter. But I was the only one who was freaking out. But anyway, we got there on Thursday, I believe. Thursday, yeah, because we flew in on Wednesday. So we got there on Thursday, and it wasn't crowded at all. We could basically just... The only shop that we couldn't get into was Ollivander's, because you had to wait in line, because it's kind of like a show. But we didn't go see that. But the first thing we did was, like, you know, took pictures like crazy. Then we got butterbeer, and we got frozen butterbeer, and it was really good. And, oh my god, it's like... You know, a lot of people compare it to cream soda, and yeah, I guess it is kind of like cream soda, but there's like, it's like caramelly, and then they put like this whipped cream stuff on top, which is funny, because like, you know, you drink it, and, you know, you get hit with like the foamy stuff that they put on top, and it's like pure marshmallow. So like, we taste it, and me and my sister kind of look at each other, and we're like, oh my god, this is really sweet and terrible. But then it was like, wait, let's put a straw in it and drink it like that. So we put the straw in it, and it was like fantastic. Like, I love super, super sweet things. So I was really happy. Everyone else thought it was disgusting. Well, they didn't think it was disgusting, but they're like, I can't drink more than like a sip of this every 10 minutes. And I was like, I'll drink the entire thing. So I did, and basically. And we also got pumpkin juice, which is awesome. Alta bought chocolate frogs, and she got, who did she get? I think she got Godric Gryffindor. I got every flavor beans, which is funny because I was like, oh, it'll probably just be like the crappy ones that you get at the store, and there's only like 3 disgusting flavors. But it's like, okay, I've gotten pepper, I've gotten green pepper, I've gotten cheese, and bacon. It's so gross, like, tasting it, like, nobody else, like, in my family is like, this, I don't get it, I don't taste it. And I'm like, no, that's totally bacon. You don't understand. It's bacon. They put bacon in a bean. What? So, that was fun. I'm glad I bought them, even though, yeah, it is kind of a risk, and then you taste it, and you're like, oh god, why did I eat that? It's still kind of fun. What else? We also got pepper imps, which, you know, they're not like super crazy awesome, but they're like really spicy, and they're pretty good. They're just like mints. We also got a cauldron cake, which are, oh my god, good. They're just like chocolate cupcake filled with moussey chocolate covered in more chocolate, which is delicious. And I bought you all, everyone's basically getting a Christmas gift from Hogsmeade, by the way, and it's all pretty much going to be the same thing, so there's no fighting. Y'all are Ravenclaws. Like, every single one of you is a Ravenclaw. Me and Paige are the only ones who are not. No one is a Gryffindor. How is that possible? I don't know. But anyway, so y'all are getting gifts from Hogsmeade, and they're freaking expensive. I spent all my money on gifts. Did I buy anything else? I really wanted to get, like, there's like the melty wax stuff, like a seal that you can put on letters, but then I was like, I don't write to anyone, so it'd be totally useless, but I really like it, but I don't write to anyone, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, everything is so expensive there, like ridiculous amounts of expensive. So be prepared for that if we ever go down there. Do I have stuff all over my face? I just drank some V8 juice. Now I'm like tasting it. I know, so eloquent, right? Anyway, what else? But yeah, the rides. So the trip through the Hogwarts ride, it's awesome. I mean, it's literally the best thing to do at the park. Like, there's really no question about it. Like, even through Islands of Adventure and the Universal Studios Park, it's like the best ride. No joke. So, look forward to that. I actually rode Flight of the Hippogriff. I know it's like, oh, it's the baby coaster, but I don't like roller coasters, so I considered it a big thing. And it actually went up like really high. Like, you look on the ground, you're like, oh, that's not so high. And then you get up there and you're like, oh my god, this is high. But I mean, again, I don't ride roller coasters, so for me it was high. It was high for like a children's ride. So anyway, we get up there and then it's like, but anyway, it was okay. I didn't die, but you get to say Buckbeak and you get to bow to him, which is fun. So I did that. I didn't ride Dueling Dragons, but I walked the path, like the line to get up there. And it was funny because like I was taking pictures and they have stuff for, you know, the champions and they have some, like signs. I'll upload pictures. But like, my dad kept complaining because he's like, I don't know why we're doing this. I've never seen anyone take pictures for being in line at a ride. And I'm like, shut up. There's stuff everywhere. So we're going to go take pictures of it. So I took tons of pictures. And what else? I got to see the Bobatonks and Durmstrang people perform, so that was fun. Missed the frog chorus though, but like even like the shops, like they have a bunch of shops that like aren't open. They're like, you know, out on business or whatever. So it was fun to look into a couple of them. Like you think, oh, it looks dark, but then you actually like smush your face into like the windows and stuff, and there's shit everywhere. It's crazy. So that's really cool. Ate at the Three Broomsticks. It was yummy. It's basically like chicken and potatoes. Like you can't really go wrong, but it tasted really good. Hella expensive though. Anything else? Right, so those are the 3 rides, and everything was awesome. Then, so we spent a day at Universal. We mostly spent most of our time at Harry Potter World. Like, we spent half the day at Harry Potter World. And then we kind of walked around that side of the park, which is, you know, the... What side? Oh, it's the side with Dr. Seuss and... Is it the Dr. Seuss side? I can't remember. I feel terrible. No, it's the Dr. Seuss, Jaws, and... Oh, all the earthquake rides. Oh my god. Well, wait, I'm probably mixing them up, but it doesn't really matter, because whatever. But, so I rode, like... You know, The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and all that stuff that came out like years ago? So basically, we kept walking by, like, we've been to the Universal Studios before, like, so you'd think, before, so we would have known about this ride, but, like, we'd never heard of it, and we're like, well, what's The Mummy? What's The Mummy? We've never ridden The Mummy. So we go, and, like, I ask a guy, because, like, you know, Universal, they don't really have places to put your stuff, so my parents were off going and putting stuff into lockers, and I go up to one of the park guys, and I was like, hey, so what's this ride like? And he's like, oh, it's just an indoor coaster, it's okay. You think you're taking, like, a, short little, learn about the place ride, but really it's like a roller coaster. And I'm like, well, okay, so it's an indoor roller coaster. That won't be so bad. And I was like, well, does it loop? And he's like, no, it doesn't loop. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get on it, and like, you know, first you're kind of just riding along, and then like Imhotep shows up, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you all. And you're like, I mean, I guess, Imhotep. And then, so it's like, oh, we gotta get away. So you go into another room, and it's like really fakey CGI, like bugs start like crawling out of like the walls and stuff. And I think like, I think wind is supposed to touch your ankles and stuff, but like I had my feet off the floor because I'm like, I'm scared of that stuff. Not even gonna lie. So, you know, everything goes crazy. And then all of a sudden, like, the roller coaster starts going backwards, and then I'm like, fuh, so I start like closing my eyes. And then once we reach the bottom, like, you know, I open them back up again and the ride starts turning. So as you're turning, you start and you see there's like a giant hill in front of you. And I was just like, fuh. So we go up the hill, you know, like, that's honestly one of the worst parts of rides, I think, like, at least for roller coasters, is that, like, oh my god, this is happening kind of feeling. So that happens, and then I basically shut my eyes even before we start dropping, but I shut my eyes, and then it's like this, like, the entire way down, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I wasn't having fun. I felt like I was dying. And, you know, for just a second I was like, well, let me open my eyes. And then, like, I see a giant snake in my face, like, blowing fire. I'm like, I'm never gonna open my eyes. So, basically, I rode the entire ride with my eyes closed. And, like, it was really bad. And it was funny because then afterwards, like, you know, the ride stops and, like, a guy comes and tells you to put up your straps or whatever. So, like, he's like, everybody have a good time? And, you know, there are some frat boys in the back, they're like, haha. And then he looks at me and he's like, you did not have a good time. And I'm like, ah. So it was really terrible. But it was really funny, too, because then later we looked at our pictures and I was, like, screaming my head off, like, in the pictures, like so legit, like, you know, perfect roller coaster picture. But we didn't get it anyway because that shit's expensive. So, yeah, that's what Universal's like. Oh, the Simpsons ride? Fun. MIB? Fun. What else did we do? But, well, and then, well, we did that Thursday, Sunday? Maybe we went Friday, Sunday. No, I had to go home on Sunday. Never mind. We went Thursday, Saturday, we went to Universal. So we did both parks and both sides of the park. And then on Friday, we went to Disney World. And we had, we all had passes from when we had gone before, and then we got the, you know, forever tickets. So from there we went, we went to the animal park, or whatever it's called, Wild Kingdom, and we did that because me and Mom had never done that before, and I got a bunch of we went on, like, the safari ride, which was fun, and everyone else in my family did the Everest ride, because I don't like roller coasters, especially ones where it was like, the very first thing you see is, like, basically a drop like this big coming out of the damn mountain. So I'm like, why the fuck would I ever want to go on that? So, and Alta was being annoying because she was like, ride it, like, the entire weekend. And I'm like, shut up. You said it. What makes you think the 30th time that you say that it will make me change my mind? So just shut up. But she wouldn't, so, but that's typical Alta, so whatever. So we did that park. It was really kind of boring. Not gonna lie, not my favorite park. But the big tree was cool. And seeing animals was cool. And other than that, it was just a bunch of walking. There was a really good restaurant too. But then, like, we're like, well, let's not stay in Animal Kingdom for the entire day. So we tried to go back to Epcot. So we spent the rest of the night at Epcot and we walked around the countries, which is okay. But I feel like every time I go to Disney World, I go to Epcot. Because I think Epcot is where we went, like, we spent all day at Epcot last time I was in Disney World, which is when I came down to see colleges. So I just, like, I distinctly know everything about Epcot because I spent, like, a day there. And I rode all the crappy, you know, Soarin' and This is Canada rides. So I'm like, can we not, if we, okay, all of us, if we're ever going to Disney World, can we not, well, I mean, the first thing we do, can it not be Epcot? Because I've spent way too much time at Epcot, and I don't ever want to do a lot of time at Epcot ever again. I mean, like, we can visit Epcot